Welcome back guys. In this video we are going to see few element input operations, something like clicking and filling the text bars, okay, and double click and hovering on the menus. Okay, so this is what we are going to see in this tutorial. Okay, so let's jump into it. So I have already created a skeleton code. Basically this one will open the browser and it will open a tab and it will open a page, and then it will wait after the operations and it will close the tab and it will close the browser. Okay, so in between we are going to use the code. Okay, if this is the first video you are seeing, I highly recommend watch the previous video so that you will get to know the clear idea about these details. Okay, fine. Now first we will start with click. Okay, so here in this practice page we are going to click one of the links. Okay, let's say we can click on this link or anything. Okay, so I'm going to click on this broken link for the first time. Okay, so for first we'll click and then we'll go with the double click and hover and all. Okay, await. For using, you can use page dot click. Okay, so this is the simple way, page dot click. This one will accept a selector or a locator. You can give a text locator, CSS locator, XPath as a locator. Okay, so we have to find the broken link first. Okay, so it has the href. It is inside a h5. Okay, let's see whether h5 is present anywhere else. 1 and 2. Okay, so only one place it has the tag as h5, so we are going to click this h5. Okay, so instead of clicking on h5, let's use a only. Okay, so here we are going to use the a. Okay, now we got the locator. This is the CSS locator. Okay, now we are trying to click it. Here I have given 2.5 seconds of a sleep so that we can see the output. Okay, let me run. So here if you are new, you have to use node and the file name. Here file name is pw-element operations.js. Okay, it's opening the page. Yeah, it clicked it and it went to the 404 page. Okay, that is a dummy page we have created. Okay, this is how normally you click it, and we'll see double click. Double click is also similar to click. Okay, the only thing is you have to write as double click, dbl click. Okay, that is called double click. Okay, so here we cannot double click on this link. Even if we click, it will consider like single click, because after the single click it tries to navigate. Okay, for that I have created another button called double click me. So when we double click it, it will open this pop-up. Okay, but if you do a single click, it will do nothing. Okay, it will do nothing, but when you give a double click, it opens the pop-up. But one thing about the pop-up, when there is a pop-up in Playwright automatically accepts the pop-up. Okay, Playwright automatically accepts the pop-up even if you don't do anything, because once the pop-up is there, you cannot do anything. For example, clicking on this, anything, anywhere you click, it will not work unless you click OK or cancel. Okay, there is no cancel, but OK now. So you have to remove this pop-up, then only all the other features of this particular website or basically the browser itself will work. Okay, so to avoid this particular blockage, Playwright automatically accepts the pop-up, which means that it says OK to the pop-up. Okay, so why I am explaining is when it double clicks, it will come for a very short moment. This particular pop-up will come for a very short moment. Okay, then it will go away. So for that purpose I am explaining it. So now we have to find the locator for this particular button. Okay, here we have id as double -click. Okay, so how we write a CSS for the CSS for the id? It is hash and then the id. Okay, so when we mention hash, it means that we are writing id. Okay, now let's execute it again, it will be so quick, sometimes we miss it. Okay, so it worked, but we cannot see it. Okay, that is the problem with the double click, I mean with the pop-ups actually. If you see this black corner, for example, if it is in somewhere, let's refresh it just to tell you. Okay, so this is how it is, double click. Okay, now next we have a hover. Hover accepts one parameter, that is also a locator only. Okay, we can use hover, 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 and we have to pass the locator, which locator we are interested in. Okay, here in this page, this particular menu gives us the pop-up, okay, like sub menu when we hover on it. If you see it here, you can see ChartChat Google Bing. Okay, so let's find this particular item, I mean the button. So for that we'll be clicking it here, and it says sub menu, ID is sub menu. Okay, hash sub menu. Okay, now let's execute. Now you can see the sub menu opened. Okay, so now normally we will not end just with the sub menu, we have to use some of the option in the sub menu. Okay, that's why we always need this particular sub menus. So once we click it, we have to click it here. Okay, so we have to inspect this one as well. But how do we do it? For example, let's say I'm here, and the moment I try to click it here, okay, it will go away. Again it will come once I hover. So the moment you click it somewhere, it will go away. So how do you handle this situation? Okay, to inspect this kind of elements, what you have to do is, here in the dev tools you will have a sources tab. Okay, it will list all your JavaScript file, CSS file, or all the images. Okay, so ignore about that stuff. On the right side part you will have a pass sign. Okay, this pass sign, what it will do is, it will stop the website altogether. Okay, for example, if I stop it while hovering it, then everything will stop here, nothing will work. I mean, even if I remove it, the hover still be there. Okay, because the total website is passed now. Whatever operations, whatever events you do, it will not affect it, it will not affect the state. Okay, because it is passed. It is just like passing a video game. Okay, right. So normally to pass it, we have to click, I mean we have to hover it, and then we have to click this thing. Okay, that is not possible, because the moment we move outside, it will go, the submenu will go away. Okay, this submenu. So in that case, what we have to do is, we have to see that what is the shortcut key that it is giving. It is asking us F8 or control plus slash, front slash, okay, forward slash. So instead of a control plus forward slash, I am going to use F8. I am going to press F8. So over on this thing and press F8. Okay, so now, okay, it was still going on. Okay, again press it. Okay, it is not stopped. Okay, just hold on. Okay, so F8 did not work for me. So what I did is, I have used control slash. Okay, so now you can see that passed in debugger. Okay, so now we can inspect this particular submenu. Okay, so we can, it says like ID is link1. I can use the ID here. Okay, now I hovered on it. Now I am going, what I'm going to do is page dot click, and I'm going to say click on the link 1. Okay, instead of a link 1, let me go with link 2 actually. Let's go with Google. Okay, link 2. Okay, now what it should do is, it should hover and it should click on the link 2, which takes us to Google. Okay, so prior to that one, we can resume it. Okay, just a play and pass only. Okay, so first let's click on the Google. Now it has taken us to Google page. Okay, let's come back. Okay, it is taking some time, it's okay. Okay, now let's clear the screen and run it. Now what it should do is it should hover on it and it should click on the option, second link, which is on Google. Okay, I hope it is clicking. I'm not sure. It didn't click it, I guess. Let's see what's the error it's going to give. Okay, sorry. So here I have made a mistake. So instead for every ID we have to give the hash sign. If we don't give the hash sign, normally it takes it as a tag name. Okay, it was checking with the tag name link too, but it was not there because it is an ID. Okay, let me clear the screen and rerun it. Okay, it should hover. Okay, now it has taken to google.com. Okay, now the page is closed. Okay, this is how normally your hover works. Okay, then next we have a focus. Okay, what is focus? Okay, let me remove this thing. So the focus is nothing but you have couple of fields here, right? If you want to bring a focus on a particular field, you can bring it. If you want to bring a focus on this particular button, you can bring it. Okay, basically it will do nothing, it will just bring the focus. Okay, fine. So actually I don't see much of the usage of a focus, but sometimes there is the usage where whenever you highlight or whenever you focus on a text bar, it should give a tooltip. Okay, in such kind of scenarios you can use this focus. Okay, page dot focus, and inside focus we have to give the locator. So here let's consider the second item. Okay, it says text bar, right? So we can use it. Here it says ID. So now we have to find it, right? So I'm going to use the XPath /* at ID equal to text bar of second occurrence. Okay, you can ask why I'm not using CSS. Whenever there is the occurrence, I normally use XPath because it is easier. Okay, don't get confused with like CSS is faster and XPath is slower. It is not that. It is just a hypothetical questions are the things that people have found, because XPath and CSS works at the same speed only. Okay, right. Now again execute it. The focus should go on to the second text bar. Okay, now if you can see it, there is a dark rectangle around it. Fine. So next we have fill. Fill is nothing but to set a text in a field. Okay, so just it's a fill. It will set some text into this thing, something like this. Okay, let's use it. So but this one will accept two parameters. Okay, so the first parameter is the locator and the second parameter is the value we want to set it into the text bar. Okay, let's say something like March. Okay, I'm going to set the text March into the field. Okay, let me rerun it. Now it should set March. You can see March is set here. Okay, fine. After second parameter, you can give one more parameter, which is timeout. Okay, so for the third parameter, it is an dictionary, or you can call it as a map. Okay, so here inside the map we have to give the timeout equal to 30 seconds. You can give. Okay, I have given 3 seconds. Within 3 seconds this particular text bar should be present. Okay, let's run it. Okay, now it is present, it failed. But when this timeout will be useful is normally you will set, by default playwright waits for 30 seconds for any element, any given element. If it is not found also, it will give 30 seconds of wait time, and it will check. If it is present inside 30 seconds, it will move on. But if it didn't, it will throw an error if you are using operation. Otherwise it will return null. Okay, but sometimes some of the element you might want to use a different timeout. Okay, something like, say something like within 10 seconds that particular element should appear. In such cases this timeout will be very helpful. Okay, so now we have tried with 3 seconds. Let's add something here, okay, so that the element will not be available. Now run it. Within 3 seconds the test should fail. Okay, so ignore it here. Let's come back to your console. Okay, in the console you can see it says unheld promise rejection, page.fill timeout 3000 milliseconds exceeded. Okay, so it was waiting for this particular element, but this element is not there. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is how you can use this timeout. By default Playwright waits for 30 seconds. Okay, fine. The next one we have type. Okay, so this is also similar to this. Okay, in case if you guys want to keep, we can keep the timeout as well. The method is, the function is type. So now you have seen the values are set at the same time. For example, let's say the fill, what it will do is it will fill it at once. Okay, something like you copy it something and you pasted it. Okay, that is what fill is. But type is literally typing. Say like I want to type March, it says like M-A-R-C-H. okay, this is what type means. Okay, now I want to type March here. Okay, I'm giving a timeout of 3000 milliseconds. Okay, within that one it should be present. Okay, but anyways, I hope you understood the concept of timeout. I'm going to remove it. Okay, now let's save it and let's run it again. Okay, you should type March. March is typed, but did you notice that there is a speed difference between type and fill? Okay, in case if you did not see and if you feel like both are working at the same speed, then there is an option for that one as well. Okay, you can give it as a third parameter. Okay, the value is delay. Okay, inside that inside a map you have to give delay. So how much delay you want, from typing the first letter delay and the second letter. Okay, say March, if I want to type, first it will type M and it will wait for the delay, and it will type A, wait for the delay, and type R, wait for a delay, and C, wait for a delay, and H. Okay, if I say 1 second, which is I have to mention 1000. Okay, if I say 1 second, so after every second it will type the M-A-R-C-H. Okay, now let me run here. Okay, you can see the delays, right? Yeah, this is what delay is. Okay, sorry, basically delay with type. Okay, fine. The next method we have called press. Okay, the press is we can say like it is kind of a type, but it will type only one letter. I mean, not one letter, the key is basically whatever the key is present in your keyboard, that it's going to press. Okay, so if I type March and execute, it will not work because there is no such key in your keyboard as March. Okay, let me run it, just for moment's sake. It will fail. It will say like there is no key as March. Okay, so it says here element and press. Okay, page.press unknown key March. That means there is no page, there is no key called March. But if I type M, only just M, because M is going to be present in our keyboard. I mean, it is present, it is not going to be or anything, it is present. Okay, now it should type M in the second field. Okay, typed. Okay, so there is one thing that needs improvement. So here I can say shift plus m. Okay, normally when we say shift lowercase m, it normally should work as uppercase m, but this one does not work with Playwright as of now. Maybe in the future they might improve this particular feature. Okay, see, still you can see lowercase only, but when we press type and some lowercase key, it should go as a uppercase. Okay, that is missing. So when this press will be useful? Okay, because you might be thinking that for one key also I can use a type or fill, right? Why should I go with the press? Yes, that is a good question, and the answer is, in normal cases we will not be using it, but some places when you want to use a tab, for example, let's say you want to use a tab. Okay, in such cases this particular type key will be useful. Okay, now first it will go to the second one. Okay, and if I press tab, it goes to the third text box. Okay, third is highlighted instead of second because we have given a tab. Okay, now here we are going to the second one, but we are going to give a tab. Okay, target is second text bar, but it should move to the third one because of tab. Okay, if you see it here, third one is highlighted. Okay, so far what we have seen is click to click an elements, or click an element, and double click to perform a double click operation, DBL click, and hover to, I mean, this is similar to mouse move in Selenium. I mean, like it will be moving mouse on an element. Okay, that is hover. And focus, to keep a focus on a particular element, we will be using a focus method. And a fill is nothing but setting the text to the text bars, and the type is typing the values to the text bar, and pressing the keys in our keyboard. Okay, that's what we have seen in this video. Okay, so, and that's all for this video. If you have any doubts or queries, don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment box. I'll try to reply to all the comments. Okay, thank you guys, that's all for this video.